You ever notice how the loudest men whining about freedom are the ones that are begging for a king? That's Curtis Yarvin. Calls himself Mendacious Mudbutt. Ugh. And if you don't know his name, that's by design. Because this man is the blueprint for the so-called intellectual side of today's far-right movement. So who is he? Where'd he come from? Yarvin wasn't some backwoods militia guy. He's a Silicon Valley tech bro. A coder. Which means that he had access, money, and time to sit online dreaming about how democracy is inefficient and how what we really need is a CEO of America. That's his actual phrase. A CEO. What the fuck? He wants the government run like a company, where you don't get a say, where your rights aren't protected, and where shareholders decide everything. But here's the trick. In his version, you aren't the shareholder. Elites are. White ones, especially. Back in the mid-2000s, Yarvin started a blog under his Mudbutt name. He called democracy a cathedral, like a religion, and said the only way forward is a total reset. Tear it all down and crown a monarch, not a figurehead king, a dictator in a business suit. Sound familiar? Because that's the same playbook that authoritarian men from Mussolini to Putin have run with. Yarvin just rebranded it for tech bros and Reddit forums. But here's where it gets dangerous, right? Mudbutt's ideas didn't just stay in obscure corners of the internet. They seeped into Silicon Valley circles, venture capitalists, crypto bros. Even Peter Thiel sniffed around all of this stuff. And on the political side, his writing became the seedbed for the neo-reactionary movement, the far-right intellectual cover for authoritarianism, the post-liberal anti-democracy America should be a monarchy crowd. That's Yarvin's DNA. He may not have mainstream name recognition yet, but his fingerprints are all over the far-right ecosystem, the one that gave us Trump, Stop the Steal, and a generation of young men radicalized online into believing that freedom means submission. Now, this is the part that really exposes him. Mudbutt is obsessed with order, with hierarchy, with knowing your place. That's why his writing is soaked in racial hierarchy. He argued that Black people were inherently less capable of self-governance. He pulled from old colonial justifications, sprinkled it with tech speak, and called it innovation. Curtis Yarvin wants you to believe that democracy is a failed experiment, that equality is a lie, that the best future is one where we hand keys to a king or a tech CEO and hope they rule efficiently. But what he's saying is real simple. Freedom is too good for you. And when you peel back all the blog posts, all the intellectual jargon, all the neo-reactionary branding, it's the same old fear, the same old authoritarian impulse that's always tried to shut us up, chain us down, and crown itself supreme. Mendacious Mudbutt didn't invent